Oh, so the cake released with no issue. And I'm going to allow the cake to cool for at least another hour or so on the cooling rack. I'll be back. Or a grouping of our ingredients. So there is pureed sweet potatoes, 2 sticks of butter, buttermilk, we have vanilla, I have sifted flour, there is brown sugar and regular granulated sugar. I have 5 eggs at room temperature. And then I also have our spices. There's cinnamon, nutmeg, salt, and baking powder in this little bowl here. So we're gonna get started. So apparently my phone was not recording while the butter and sugar were creaming. So in my stand mixer, I had 3 cups of sugar, 2 cups of granulated sugar, and then 1 cup of brown sugar, and then 2 sticks of butter. I used the butter I had on hand, so 1 stick was actually salted butter and the other stick was unsalted butter. But the recipe does call for 2 sticks of unsalted butter, just an FYI. You need to cream those together until light and fluffy, which is approximately about 5 minutes. If you're using a stand mixer or even if you're using a hand mixer, just make sure in between you are scraping the sides of the bowl and you are getting to the bottom of the bowl so that there is no residual sugar and butter left over once your 5 minutes is up. And once you're done, we can proceed to the next step, which is to start adding our eggs one at a time. And you're just gonna add this until the mixture is well combined. You do not wanna overmix your batter. So next steps are we're gonna add the vanilla, and then we're gonna add the pureed sweet potatoes, and then we're gonna mix that until well combined. I think we're gonna add, I believe it's 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm just gonna measure with my heart, because you can never have too much vanilla. And then I have my sweet potato all measured out. And you can use canned sweet potato or fresh sweet potato for this particular recipe. It's really up to you. It's the holiday season. Fresh sweet potatoes for 39 cents a pound. So we're using fresh sweet potatoes. When they're more expensive, I might use canned. So we're gonna mix this till well combined. Hello. Let's lift the bowl up. Excuse all these bloopers. I'm leaving all of this in here. And we're gonna mix this until well combined. Make sure you scrape down the sides so you get all of the mixture together. So next steps are you're gonna add your sifted flour and your spices. What you wanna do is add your nutmeg, cinnamon, your salt, and your baking powder to the sifted flour. You're gonna whisk that. You can do that while the butter and sugar are mixing and creaming together, and just set that aside. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna alternate between your flour and your buttermilk. You wanna start and end with the flour. I recommend adding 1 cup to a half a cup, or a half cup I should say, to a cup of flour at a time. In between, you know what I'm saying, add a cup and a half, a cup. Oh my God, this is gonna be a blooper. You're gonna add half a cup to 1 cup of flour. You're gonna add a half a cup to 1 cup of flour at a time, and you're gonna start and end with the flour, alternating with the buttermilk. Remember, when you're adding your flour and your buttermilk, you want to do this at a low speed. And you're really just doing this until everything is well combined. You do not want to overmix your batter. once you're done mixing, your batter should look like this. And now it's time to prepare your cake pan. I believe this recipe is for a 10 to 12 cup pan. I have a 12 cup bundt pan that I'm going to use, so I'm going to get that out so we can get started. Okay, now it's time to add the cake batter to our pan. Our pan is all sprayed up with cake release. I like to use an ice cream scoop. When it's a lot of batter, you can pour it. Sometimes it becomes really messy, so I like to use an ice cream scoop to start scooping the batter into the cake pan. So we have all of our batter added to the cake pan. There is just a little bit more batter that's left in the bowl. I'm just gonna add that to, I have a really miniature cake pan. I'm gonna add that there. You do not want to overflow your cake pan. I've done that. It's gonna make a mess in your oven. Also, your cake's not gonna sit nicely on your cake plate if you decide that you're gonna invert it. So you have the design faced up. So just remember that you don't need to fill your cake pan all the way to the top. This is basically full. It's a little more than 3/4 of the way, but you don't want to overflow the cake pan because it can make a mess in your oven. And who wants to be cleaning out the oven if you ain't got to? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to my oven at 350 for approximately an hour and 10 minutes. I'm gonna check it at the hour mark to see if it's done. And if not, then I'll let it bake a little longer. I prefer to bake my pound cakes in a cold oven. This recipe does call for you to preheat the oven. I just choose to make my pound cakes in a cold oven. It seems to work out a little better for me. But please do whatever you see fit. I am going to attach the recipe in the bottom. So, do what works for you. But we're about to put this in the oven, and then we're gonna go clean up this kitchen. I'll see you all in about an hour and a half. Hey y'all, welcome to Home Baked TV. Today we're gonna make a sweet potato pound cake. Are y'all ready? All right, if you are, let's get started. Okay guys, we're back. The cake took approximately an hour and 10 minutes to bake at 350 degrees. I have let it cool for about 20 minutes. So now I'm going to invert the cake onto a cooling rack so it can cool the rest of the way. So I probably need hopefully, ooh, this is hot. Let me get a dish towel. So hopefully, ooh. So the cake released with no issue. And I'm going to allow the cake to cool for at least another hour or so on the cooling rack. I'll be back.